Wait, the IRS can see my Venmo?
I just paid my friend for pizza. Are they coming for that too?
So, what's really going on here?
In 2025, something big is changing for millions of people in the United States. It's not about rent, gas, or groceries this time. It is about how the IRS, the tax agency, is now looking closer at the money people send and receive through popular apps like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and Zelle. You've probably heard the rumor, the IRS is watching your $600 payments. That used to be the number. But in 2025, it's $2,500. That is the new limit for when apps have to report your business or gig income using something called Form 1099-K. Let's be clear right from the start, this is not financial advice. This is just information, a way to understand what's happening so you can be aware. If you ever need to make decisions about taxes or income, always talk to a qualified financial or tax professional. Okay? Good. Now let's break this down. Imagine you sell homemade candles online, or you mow lawns on weekends, or you do small art commissions. If those payments come through an app and the total hits more than $2,500 for the year, that app will send your info to the IRS. Not because you did anything wrong. It is just part of a new system meant to track business income more accurately. But what if you just use Venmo to pay your friend for lunch? Or you send money to your mom for her birthday? That's not business, that's personal. And the IRS says those payments don't count. The problem is, sometimes the app doesn't know the difference. It sees money coming in and out, and it doesn't know if it's business or not. That's where confusion starts, and that's why so many Americans are worried this year. Let's talk about why this rule even exists. Every year, billions of dollars go unreported from side jobs and online sales. So the government created this system to reduce what they call the tax gap, the difference between what people should pay and what is actually paid. The gap is huge, over $600 billion every year. That's more than the entire education budget of the United States. So the idea is to close that gap by getting more accurate info from digital payments. Sounds simple, right? But real life isn't always simple. Meet Sarah. Sarah sells used furniture online. She doesn't run a business. She just likes flipping old chairs. At the end of the year, she sold enough to make around $2,800 through PayPal. Next thing she knows, she gets a Form 1099-K in the mail. Now she's scared. She thinks she owes big taxes. But in reality, if she sold her furniture for less than what she bought it for, it's not taxable income. Still, she might need to explain that. That's why experts recommend, again, not advice, just common practice, keeping notes or receipts showing what's personal and what's business. Apps like Venmo and PayPal now even have options to label payments as personal or business. That's not something you have to do, but it might help keep things clear. When the IRS first announced they'd track payments over $600, it caused a national panic. Small business owners, gig workers, and even casual sellers were upset. People thought they'd get taxed just for splitting the dinner bill. So lawmakers pushed the rule back. Now it is $2,500 instead of $600. Still lower than before, but less scary than the first version. The IRS insists this isn't about spying. They say it's about fairness, making sure everyone who earns business income pays what they owe, just like everyone else. But people aren't fully convinced, because when you think of fair, you think of simplicity, not confusion. And for many people, this new rule feels confusing. Now let's make this super easy to understand. If you sell things as a side hustle or get paid for freelance work, that's income. It's reportable. If you just send or receive money for personal reasons, birthday gifts, splitting rent, paying a friend back, that's not income. But if an app accidentally reports that money anyway, you might have to explain it when filing taxes. That's when you call a professional. Don't guess, don't panic, just ask for help. And remember, ignoring a 1099K form isn't a great idea either. Even if it's wrong, it's better to handle it than to pretend it never showed up. The IRS uses computers that automatically match income reports. If your numbers don't line up, the system might send you a letter asking why. Not the end of the world, just something to fix calmly. Many people are now separating their apps. One account for business, one for personal use. That's not a rule. It's just something some folks do to stay organized. Others use digital bookkeeping tools. Again, no advice here, just what people are doing. In short, the world of money has changed. It's not just paychecks anymore. It's Venmo, PayPal, Etsy, DoorDash, and everything in between. And the IRS is simply trying to keep up with that change. But the truth is, most people aren't trying to hide anything. They're just trying to live, to make a little extra, to pay bills, to get through the month. That's why this topic hits so deep. It's not about big corporations, it's about regular people. So if you hear someone say, the IRS is watching your Venmo, remember, it's not that simple. They're not watching you personally. They're just collecting reports from apps that cross a certain amount of money, hoping to make taxes more fair. Whether it feels fair or not, that's up for debate. At the end of the day, knowledge is power. The more you understand, the less scary it feels, and that's what this video is all about. Not telling you what to do, but helping you see what's really happening. If you ever have doubts or questions, always go to someone who's trained for that, a certified financial or tax professional. Never rely on random advice online, not even from talking monkeys. Because Benji isn't here to tell you what to do. He's here to ask the same questions you are, to laugh at the confusion, to make sense of the chaos, and to remind us all that sometimes money talk doesn't have to be boring. So next time you open your app and see that payment received notification, don't panic. Just stay informed, stay calm, and remember, knowledge doesn't cost a dime, but ignorance might.